When Brian was about to be killed by the mercenaries hired by Barrett, Kyan appeared and saved his life. When Barrett saw Kyan, he smirked and told him that he will crave out his organs and kill him. When Cyan hid that he smirked and killed all the mercenaries hired by Barrett mercilessly, Barrett got shocked as he couldn't believe Cyan easily killed all those high-level mercenaries. Barrett looked at Cyan's monstrous form and wondered if all the verts are that overwhelmingly strong. When Barrett tried to attack Cyan with his fire, Magic Cyan kicked him in the stomach and sent him flying towards a wall. Cyan walked toward Barrett and asked if harassing the people who are weaker than him was fun. Barrett smirked while showing no remorse for his sins and asked Cyan if he is going to kill him for his hobbies. Turns out Barrett Louismill was the oldest son of Louismill household, which was the strongest figure in Garam Kingdom. In Cyan's past life, physically assaulting someone was the least of the terrible things Barrett has done. Barrett also used to burn small animals alive with his fire magic and watch them suffer for fun. One day, Barrett crossed the line by killing one of his fellow classmates just because she was practicing magic. In the end, Cyan got an order from Mist Organization to hunt down Barrett Louismill because of his terrible deeds. When Cyan infiltrated Barrett's mansion, he found countless core of the servants stored in the basement. When Cyan was about to kill Barrett after torturing him, he told Cyan that he doesn't mind dying since he had all the fun he wanted. In the present, Cyan glared at Barrett and thought killing him like that wasn't satisfactory, so this time he will torture him every day. Cyan formed a mana marble with his dark mana and thought he would do the same thing that Barrett did to Leximus in his past life. When Barrett tried to threaten Cyan with the consequences, Cyan shut him up by shoving the mana marble into his mouth. Cyan told Barrett that he can hate him all he wants. He can even talk behind his back. He doesn't care. Cyan smirked and told Barrett he can do anything he wants, but he shouldn't have put his dirty hands on Cyan's subordinate as the mana marble started destroying Barrett's mana circuit. He suffered from unimaginable pain, which can break his mind. Ashel's subordinate Kellen saw everything and thought that he had to report how strong Cyan is. Sharika, the Hallmaster of Mist, got behind Kellen and placed a dagger on his neck while asking why was he stalking Cyan. Meanwhile, Brian apologized to Cyan and told him that he didn't knew they would attack him in such a big group. Cyan smiled at Brian and told him if he didn't run away because of his loyalty, it was a very stupid thing to do. Cyan made a serious expression and told Brian that he doesn't need loyal subordinates who die, so Byron should stop doing stupid things. After that, Cyan calmed down and told Hallmaster Sarika to come out, on which a large amount of Mist members showed themselves. Sarika showed herself and handed Kellen to Cyan and told him that this guy was following him everywhere for a week. Cyan told Sarika that he already knew about Kellen, but he didn't bother, as Kellen is not a threat to him. Sarika sighed and told Cyan that she knows he is talented, and also a perfect successor of Eru, the god of darkness. Sarika made a serious expression and told Cyan that these kind of things shouldn't happen again, since it can cause trouble. Cyan glared at Sarika and told her that he will be careful, but if others tried to harm his people again, he will crush them without a second thought. Sarika smirked and found it amusing how Cyan wants to protect his people from the enemies. Sarika turned back and told Cyan that he should take care of the mess he made, as she is going back to Mist's main branch. After Sarika left the alleyway, Kellen glared at Cyan with fear and asked if he was going to be killed like the others. Cyan made a scary expression and told Kellen that killing him would not be fun, so he has planned something better in his mind. Kellen smirked and told Cyan that he shouldn't think about torturing him since Cyan won't get any information out of him. Cyan remembered that Kellen is Ashel's most closest subordinate, who also used to be jealous of Cyan in his past life. Cyan thought that this guy might be very dangerous in a different sense since he always used to ogle at Ashel. Cyan smirked and raised his hand, while thinking Ashel's closest subordinate will be a very useful asset in his plans. Cyan used Shadow Personality on Kellen, which scared him as the darkness entered his body from both his eyes and mouth. The next day, both Aaron and Leximus was practicing swordsmanship fiercely on the training grounds. Leximus got behind Aaron with quick moments and placed the sword on her neck, which made Aaron accept defeat. Meanwhile, on the other side of the training ground, Brian was getting beaten up mercilessly by Cyan. Cyan was amazed by Brian's endurance and thought it's unusual for a normal errand boy of the Knights to have such endurance. Cyan stopped attacking Brian for a second and asked if he was tired, on which Brian told him that he can keep going. Cyan thought that he cannot stop the training since Brian have to be able to defend himself from next time. Suddenly, Brian asked Cyan if letting Kellen go was the right choice, on which Cyan told him that Kellen is on their side now. Turns out the Shadow Personality magic Cyan used was a 9-star dark magic which creates a personality from the shadows and erases the real one. Cyan remembered asking some question from Kellen while he kneeled in front of him and pledged his loyalty. Cyan had asked whom did Kellen serve, on which he told Cyan that before it was Ashel, but now he wants to serve Cyan. Cyan had told Kellen to hear his words carefully and relay it back to Ashel so Cyan can ruin his plans. In the present, Aaron asked Cyan if he came to train with his guardian knight, on which he said yes. Aaron told Cyan that she also came here to train with Leximus because of a certain incident that happened a week ago. Cyan realized Aaron was talking about the incident where Barrett was found near the academy doors and looked completely devastated. Cyan looked at Leximus and thought that her reaction wasn't what he had anticipated, as she looked sad instead of being happy. Suddenly Nana appeared from the sky and jumped into the arms of Eren while calling Cyan Papa. When Eren heard that, she made a shocked expression and bombarded Cyan with questions about who was that child. After that, Cyan took Eren and Leximus to his dorm room and told them everything about how he found Nana, which calmed Eren. Cyan looked at Eren and Leximus and made a nervous expression while thinking they might blackmail him for this. Meanwhile, Brian was equally nervous, but his worry was that they will get kicked out of the academy if the dean find out about this. Eren smiled and promised to both Cyan and Brian that she won't tell the secret to anyone, so they don't need to worry. When Eren asked Leximus if she will keep the secret safe, Leximus told her that she can't tell anyone, even if she wants, as she has no friends. When Cyan asked Eren why, Eren told him that she just feels bad for Nana, as she won't be accepted by both dragons or humans. Eren asked Cyan if she can come to his room to play with Nana sometimes, on which Cyan said that she can bring Leximus with her too. When Cyan told Eren to keep her promise, as this was their secret, she blushed and thought that a secret between her and Cyan is exciting. After that, both Eren and Leximus said bye to Nana while leaving Cyan's room as it was getting late. When Eren and Leximus reached their dorm room, Eren blushed furiously and thought that she has gotten closer to Cyan. Meanwhile, when Cyan told everything that happened to Karam, she smirked and told Cyan it's too bad that something fun happened while she was asleep. Cyan shouted at Karam and told her to reflect on her actions, on which Karam blamed Nana for doing whatever she wants when Brian suggested on taking Nana on a walk. Sometimes Cyan looked at him and said, "It is a good idea." The scene shifts. Two dragons were passing by Lewin, but they suddenly stopped as they sensed something around there. The male dragon asked the female dragon, "What was this place?" On which she told him that it's the territory of Lewin Academy. The male dragon told the female dragon that they have to delay their return since he can feel an aura that he can't permit as a dragon. Meanwhile, Nana was flying around on the outskirts of Lewin and looked very happy to be able to play in a big place. Cyan looked at Nana and thought that since this place is 10 kilometers away from the Lewin Academy, it's safe for Nana to play around. Karam teased Cyan about how he is a real father now and that he should get Nana a mother too. Suddenly both Cyan and Karam felt something powerful coming towards them and looked up in the sky. Suddenly a light beam attack flew towards Nana, but Bryant barely saved her by pulling her in his arms. Suddenly 2 dragons appeared, and when Cyan looked at them, he got shocked as they were high-ranking dragons. The high-ranking silver dragon named Lucian looked at Nana and called her existence disgusting. The high-ranking red dragon named Catalina glared at Cyan and asked him, why was such a creature with a human? Catalina asked Cyan if he was the owner of that halfling and also the owner of the demonic sword. When Karam tried to speak, Catalina told her to shut up, as she is just an inferior thing that has become a human slave. Lucian told Cyan that he will not kill them if he just hand over Nana as a half-human and half-dragon is worth experimenting on. Cyan got filled with rage and told Lucian to shut up, as he is nothing but a lizard who is going to die today. Lucian got offended and took out his spear to kill Cyan and the others while calling them inferior beings. Cyan activated the demonic sword manifestation skill to kill both Lucian and Catalina for trying to hurt his daughter. Lucian told Catalina that today had been full of surprises, as the power Cyan held is the power of darkness. Lucian looked down at Cyan and underestimated him, but Cyan suddenly got behind him and attacked with Kaerim. Lucian got angry at Cyan for attacking him, so he used shockwave attacks to stop Cyan's agile movements. Cyan used fog glide to dodge the shockwave and got behind Lucian to attack him with rushing fog. Catalina blocked Cyan's attack with a barrier and told Lucian that she can block the attacks as the barrier is made from 1,000 years worth of mana. Cyan broke through the barrier made by Catalina and used double serial slash to kill her in one strike. Lucian got angry because of Catalina's death and asked Cyan why was he so strong. Even though the god of darkness has no authority, Lucian glared at Cyan and told him that he accepts Cyan as a worthy opponent, but he had to die. Because of Catalina's death, Lucian used polymorph and transformed into a dragon, which was his original form. As Cyan knew the weakness of polymorph, he jumped in the sky and stabbed Lucian's head. When Lucian tried to run, Cyan used the sword technique named Unshakable Roots of a Great Tree and killed him. The scene shifts. Kellen was reporting to Ashel about how some mysterious force is supporting Cyan. Suddenly, Ashel looked at Kellen and thought that the sense of desperation he had before is gone. Ashel told Kellen that he wants to ask a question, on which Kellen realized that Ashel is starting to doubt him. Kellen put his hand on his chest and told Ashel that the blessing of Lumendel will be with him, which was a code word. After that, when Kellen was leaving, he thought to himself about how he should be careful as he can't let Ashel's doubt bloom. Meanwhile, the dragon's leader told other high-ranking dragons that Lucian and Catalina was killed by someone on the outskirts of Lewin Academy. The other high-ranking dragons asked, why was there no traces of Lucian and Catalina's bodies? The dragon's leader told them that the one who killed them must be the user of dark elemental magic, as he was able to erase his traces. The dragon's leader said said that the one who is capable of killing those two is Kundel Quisel, but he does not have dark elemental magic. The other high-ranking dragons told their leader that the only dark element magic user in the academy is Cyan Ver. The scene shifts to the next day. When Aaron has bought a special cake made by the chefs of the royal palace for Nana, Aaron gave the cake to Nana, on which she got happy, and told Aaron that she likes her a lot. Cyan looked at Nana while she ate the cake and thought that the dragons might attack again. Since they can sense Nana's presence, Cyan thought of protecting the people he had, since in this life he had decided to live purely for his own sake. Cyan also thought of completely destroying all the plans of Ashel, as he is the biggest enemy. Aaron looked at Cyan, who was smiling, and asked if something has happened, as he looked so happy. Cyan smirked and told Aaron that it was nothing, as he just thought of something amusing and fun. The scene shifts Luenel Severus. The first prince of the Ushif Empire asked Ashel if he had any trouble recently. Ashel smiled and told Luenel that everything is going fine because of his sincere support. Luenel told Ashel that since Alice has left on a journey, Ashel shouldn't rot in the estate and instead explore someplace. When Ashel told Luenel that he is worried about Alice, Luenel smirked and said the only worry is that Alice might take Ashel's position. After that, Luenel made a serious expression and told Ashel that the Emperor's favor for Aaron is troublesome. Ashel smirked and told Luenel that the more power Aaron will gain, the more useful she will be for them. Suddenly, a guardian knight offered a drink to Ashel, on which Ashel asked Luenel, where did he find that guardian knight? Luenel smirked and said that the guardian knight is named Boris and he is a jewel found in the slums. After 2 years, Alice came back to the academy and everyone stared at her, as she was beautiful. When Alice entered the dean's office and told him that he has returned from Farina, the dean asked, how did she get entry there? Alice told the dean that because humans aren't allowed in Farina, it took 1 year to adjust with them. Alice told the dean that she has decided to join the Knights of Light, but she is also worried about Cyan, as he is shy. When the dean heard that, he laughed and told Alice that Cyan being shy from her perspective is amusing. Cyan appeared from behind and told the dean that he is being very harsh on both him and Alice. Alice turned back and looked at Cyan while he smiled, and said that he missed her a lot. When both Alice and Cyan were taking a walk, Alice compared their heights and told Cyan that he is going to be taller than her soon. Cyan looked at Alice and thought that in his past life today was the last day he saw her alive. When Alice asked Cyan if he was good friends with Kranz, he glared at her and told her it wasn't possible. Cyan looked at Alice and told her that Kranz's mother, who is the Duchess, have also tried to kill him once. Brian stepped forward and told Alice that he can testify for that, since he was also there as an errand boy. When Brian told Alice everything about how Kranz and his mother, the Duchess, have treated Cyan, she looked furious. Alice suddenly hugged Cyan and told him that he doesn't need to be all alone, as he can always depend on her. After that, Alice suddenly hugged Brian and told him to take care of Cyan properly, on which Brian blushed. Cyan glared at Brian with killing intent, on which Brian thought to himself that he hasn't done anything. Scene shifts. Cyan was sitting in his room while thinking that Alice needs to know the truth about her family, as that is the only way to save her. Cyan suddenly got a purification order to assassinate Drenny and Nephilis, along with an invitation letter to a banquet from Alice. After that, when Nana came out of her room and everyone saw her, they got shocked as she looked the same age as Cyan. The scene shifts. Alice entered the main Vert mansion, asked the servants where was the Duchess. When Alice found the Duchess, she slapped her on the face, as she was furious for what the Duchess did to Cyan.